Order. Village of Ridgewood, Village Council, regular public meeting. Today's November 28th, and the time, 8:02. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a posting on the bulletin board in Village Hall, by mail to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same, as provided by law, of a schedule including the date and time of this meeting. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Newton. Here. Councilman Seaton.
Here.
Councilman Voigt.
Here.
Councilwoman Walsh.
Here.
And Mayor Hache.
Here, please stand for the flag salute. Please join us for a moment of silence in honor of the brave men and women serving our nation's armed forces and its first responders. Thank you. I move the bills, claims, and vouchers and statement of funds on hand as of October 31st, 2018 be accepted as submitted.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move that the Village Council minutes of September 5th, September 26th, October 10th, October 24th, 2018, having been reviewed by the Village Council and now available in the Village Clerk's office, be approved as submitted.
Second.
Newton.
Yes, but I have a quick question.
Okay.
There's just a couple of typos, so can I send them in? I think,
That's fine.
very good, very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. There's no proclamations, right? Let me see one. Okay. Go to comments from the public, not to exceed 3 minutes per person.
Good evening. Ann Loving, 342 South Irving Street. I just wanted to make a comment about the proposed increase in fees for Graydon, and I appreciate very much the explanation that both the Deputy Mayor and Councilman Seaton gave us just prior to the meeting. So it's clearer now than it was. Thank you. However, I do think that the increase of a 50% jump in the day pass is really high. You know, it's a $10 increase for the annual, the whole summer, and $5 per day for a day pass. That just seems, I don't know what, I don't think that's fair. I don't think you should do that. I also did want to comment that I hope some of the increased funds are going to go towards the bathrooms. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Marcia Ringel, 250 Ferris Place, Ridgewood. I want to comment on two proposed ordinances. One has to do with a stop sign that is near my home. This is at Claremont and Cantrell. I live a couple of blocks from there. I have driven there about 10 million times. I've never had a problem or seen any problem there. That doesn't mean there couldn't be, but I think there could be at pretty much any intersection on Earth. It's not a major thoroughfare. It is a completely residential area, and I'm thinking that at least maybe the people who are immediately near these proposed stop signs might be asked what they think. Do they think it's a dangerous place? Because I have friends who live in dangerous places, and they're perfectly happy to admit it and love stop signs and things like that. I really think there are enough stop signs in that area. We have like 3 within 4 blocks, and that would be 4. So that's my request, that you at least look into that. Secondly, regarding the Graydon fees, I was really confused about it too, but we figured it out. And I do think that, you know, when we didn't allow non-residents to buy a Graydon badge, which was from time immemorial until fairly recently, that was just the rule. If anybody who didn't live here could come as a guest, period. And then we opened it up, and it seems to be working fine. But they were not allowed to bring a guest. Now they will be allowed to bring a guest, but at an increased fee. So that the Ridgewood person with a badge who brings a guest pays $15 instead of $10. As Ann said, 50% increase, but the person from out of town who has already paid a surcharge for the privilege of using our municipally supported pool, would pay 20. A lot of people bring family or friends, more than one person, maybe more than once a summer. $20 seems like a lot to me. I don't know whether anybody's been asked anything about this, how they feel about it. I don't know whether data are being collected since everything is now online. How many people have asked about it or wanted it, how many guests we have, and so on. People have been coming to me and asking, why does it have to go up by 50%? It seems like a lot to a lot of people. I know it hasn't gone up in a while, and the pool can always use revenue. I'm just thinking it sounds like a lot. I also hope that we could consider restoring a very popular feature, which was a book of coupons for 10 guests, for which you pay for 9. You basically get 10% off. That gives the town the money right up front. They have all of it. Some people may lose it or not use it. They like the idea of getting the discount.
Thank you.
So I hope they would consider that. Thank you.
Good evening, Boyd Loving, 342 South Irving Street. I'd also like to comment on the proposed ordinance for grade and fee increases. As Ms. Ringel stated, I too find it somewhat objectionable that somebody from out of town, an out-of-town resident who is already paying a premium membership fee, is now going to be asked to pay a premium fee to bring a guest. 50% increase, if you're going to have a 50% increase and the resident is going to pay $15 for a guest, I would think that the out-of-town member should also have to pay $15. I don't understand why we would want to collect $20 for their guest as opposed to $15. It's almost like you're hitting them twice. They're a second-class citizen because they're paying more money to begin with. Now when they bring a guest, they're paying more money than a resident. It just doesn't seem right to me. If you're going to go with the 50% increase, my suggestion is to have a 50% increase across the board. $15 whether you are a resident or an out-of-town member with respect to a day pass guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi, Melanie Hubin, 431 Bogart Ave. I just wanted to ask, I'm not sure what it means to make a street a through street, and I saw there's the ordinance for Fairfield, so when that comes up, if you could just clarify. And regarding the grade-in increases, just possibly considering a sibling discount for the camp, as there's an increase. It just, I don't know if it's an issue for many people. I know a few families with 4 kids going, and it's just something to think about. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Going once, twice? All right, we'll close public comments.
Can I just ask, I wanted to ask
Sure.
a question. So, I just wanted to talk real quick about those grade-in fees, and then also the through street, because I actually just asked a similar question about that. I think it's really a great idea to bring the booklet back, and I think that's an option, and we could amend this after the fact. When I first saw these fees, I actually agreed. I thought that they seemed very, a significant increase, so that's an option. I agree that the out-of-town pass, they're already paying a premium, so I also agree with that. But that's something, if we wanted to amend that later on and bring back the booklets, and then you have it at a discounted rate. So if you buy a coupon book of 10, then that would be a savings.
Right.
Okay, so we could add that to the,
It's up to you. If you want to amend to $15 for guests regardless, you could do that tonight upon introduction.
okay.
Or you could just amend both, if you agree to the booklet, which we can discuss at the work session in December, then we could just do another ordinance to be introduced in December and adopted in January. It's still well before we're selling passes, so it would work.
Okay, so that was the 3688. Okay. I don't know if somebody wants to amend it to the 15th for the out-of-town because you're moving it, but, okay.
Well, we could do
seconding,
it.
okay.
We'll get the
Let's
language
discuss
and
it
everything.
again
We
in
could
December.
discuss it in December then and get the language, so if we have to amend this upon passage after the public hearing, then we could do that, and then we'll be, better prepared to do that.
Well, the other thing is, if you're gonna do the booklet, then you would introduce that in December. You could also introduce a change to
change
the
to
guest
that.
pass fee
Perfect.
at the same time.
Okay.
So you could
That
do
just
it
makes it
on the
easier.
same ordinance, so
Okay.
that would be fine, and then you don't have to amend it at all.
Okay.
So, and then just that through street, just real quick, because it's funny, I just asked the same question.
Right.
So the through street only means, it doesn't really change anything, it only means that on the cross streets, the village engineer can assign stop signs, is that, do I have it right?
If necessary,
Right,
correct,
where necessary, so it doesn't change anything, it just adds that added measure of safety. Okay,
correct.
all right, good.
All right, managers report?
Okay, there have been adjustments to the leaf placement schedule. Those of you who have subscribed to the e-notice have received 2 e-notices on that information. If not, you can always check on the village website, ridgewoodnj.net. Please also remember that you can bag your leaves, put them in biodegradable bags, and place them between the curb and the sidewalk. Please do not put the bags along the curb line in the street. Or you can also bring your leaves to the recycling center. Just remember that leaves may not be placed in plastic bags. We look forward to celebrating downtown for the holidays this Friday, November 30th. The ceremony takes place from 5:30 to 9 p.m. along East Ridgewood Avenue from Oak Street up to South Broad Street. There'll be holiday music and entertainment along East Ridgewood Avenue. Weather permitting, there'll be a trackless train for kids to ride, and Santa in Memorial Park at Van Ness Square. From 7 to 7:45 p.m., there will be entertainment on stage and lighting the Christmas tree at approximately 7:30 p.m., and music and entertainment will continue until approximately 9 p.m. The menorah lighting will take place on December 2nd, which is Sunday. The menorah will be lit at 5:30 p.m., the first night of Hanukkah, and another candle will be lit each night of Hanukkah. The menorah is located on East Ridgewood Avenue in Memorial Park at Van Ness Square, right on the corner. Everyone is invited to join these festivities. Thank you all to all of the employees who participated in snow removal and calls for service during the snowstorm 2 weeks ago. I know that the police department had a huge amount of calls for service. I know that it was truly a snowstorm to be remembered because of the fact that you couldn't go anywhere, and it took hours and hours to get just down the block. But with what we had and with the amount of traffic on the road, it was very difficult to plow, but once the traffic eased up, it was a little bit easier. I also want to commend the street department and all the employees who do plowing, which are from all of our divisions within the village, that they did a great job removing the snow from the central business district that night so that the lots were cleared. Just a few reminders. During the month of December, Santa will be in his house in Memorial Park at Van Ness Square on Saturday, December 1st from 2 to 4 p.m., on December 8th and 15th from 12 to 3 p.m., and December 22nd from 12 to 2 p.m. In addition, this evening, the Village Council is going to vote on a resolution to approve free parking in all parking lots in the CBD, including the train station lot on December 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd. That's every Saturday leading up to the Christmas holiday. So again, free parking in all the parking lots, including the train station lot. That's it.
Thank you. We'll go to council reports. We'll go in reverse order this time.
Thank you, Mayor.
Wait.
Actually, nothing to report. CSAC was canceled from the snowstorm, and tomorrow night we're having the Community Center Advisory Board meeting, so I'll report on that next week. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Walsh?
So I think Heather covered all of the chamber things that I would have to report on. So I just have the library board. We met last night, and you know, they're still working on their project, the renovation, the reimagine. They are going to be coming here next week, the 5th. They're talking about their capital campaign. They're also talking about their public awareness campaign, so that the public knows there's been a lot of stuff on social media that they feel is not fairly showing what the Reimagine
project is all about. I think that they also want to talk about what it's going to cost per household if we do go through with the project. So I think that's something that they're going to work on, they're going to speak about next week, but I think they're also going to work within the community so that people know what the whole project is about. So that's what they're working on, that's all I have.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you. So I have a whole bunch of stuff. First, as a reminder, please visit visionridgewood.org and be a voice, or have a voice in Ridgewood's future. This is the visioning process, which is the preliminary stages to our future master plan for the village. I know there have been a lot of questions directed to me about receiving emails from individuals and groups, different organizations, promoting visionridgewood.org and participate in the visioning process. Some tend to have a slant directing people how to answer questions. We ask everyone to just use your own common sense, take the survey. Don't be influenced by any special interest groups. This is really a plan for the future of the Village of Ridgewood. It's really important that we don't allow any process here to be tainted. So it is a village planning, an operation of the Ridgewood Planning Board. So there is a master plan advisory committee. Anyone is welcome to email me directly, snudson@ridgewoodnj.net, right? .net. And I'll answer any questions we have, any questions anybody has. Moving on. The Ridgewood Arts Council Holiday Window Display Contest is in full swing, and although there are countless window displays throughout the Central Business District, only those that registered for the contest will be judged, and that judging will be done by Ridgewood Arts Council members. A quick list for 2 categories. Retail, we have Bewitching Bath, Biltmore, Tuxedos, Coco Interior, Deep Parts Shoes, Double Take Consignment, Duxiana, Gilsenan and Company, Just Our Shoes, Learning Express, Mango Jam, Town and Country. So go take a look. They've really gone all out and cleaned up their windows and decorated them for the holidays. We also have a couple of restaurants, Chestnut Deli, It's Greek to Me, Park West Tavern, Pearl, Playa Bowls, Raymond Samba, and Steel Wheel Restaurant. So if I didn't mention a business and somebody out there is watching and they believe that they are participating but they haven't registered, email rac@ridgewoodnj.net. Also, we had one category which were empty storefronts in town, and we had asked different landlords if they would be willing to decorate their windows just to kind of add some sparkle and shine to the village during the holidays. And so we did have one in particular that allowed us to actually go in and decorate the window. So we want to have a special thanks to the Arts Council members for helping to bring at least one empty storefront back to life. Last Saturday, committee members gathered at the corner of North Broad and East Ridgewood Ave to help decorate the long empty windows of the Wilsey Building, which is the iconic 1914 clock tower building at 1 East Ridgewood Avenue. We're grateful to the building owner, Rocco Barati, for granting permission, allowing the members of the Arts Council to go in, Paul Marsokian for his assistance, and the village. We borrowed the village kissing ball, so we're grateful to the village manager and Jimmy for getting those for us. And BF, HSA, Anna Salerno and Deanne Jason, because we actually borrowed the BF Winter Wonderland trees, polar bears, and decorations, so the windows look fabulous. Shout out to the RAC members and helpers who braved the cold because they had to go and make lots of load decorations, transport, unload, and then spend hours working on dealing with electricity and lighting up the windows and spray painting window snow in design. So it was really a tremendous amount of work. So we do want to thank Dana Glazer, Rosa McCooey, Jay Friedman, Michael Walsh, not Bernie's husband, and extra help from Pat Pasquale, John Knudsen, who is my husband, and finally a big thank you to Audrey Fink, whose vision, commitment, creativity, and boundless energy really guided the project. So if anyone gets down there to look, these have been cavernous, dark windows for years. They are just shining bright, light, they're lit, they're colorful, they're beautiful. So it really, it's a really important corner, so we're excited, especially for the tree lighting. Bergen County Winter Wonderland is happening at Van Zorn Park. Please stop by and take a look at the beautifully decorated trees along the walkway. There is one tree for each of the 70 municipalities in Bergen County. I'll add that Ridgewood's tree looks the best, in our opinion, is green. Actually, in the past, the trees were identified alphabetically. This year, we were allowed to pick our own tree. So if you're looking for Ridgewoods, we're actually just opposite the empanada truck. So it's a, and again, we just have to thank, Ramon and I actually decorated the tree as we did in the past. And we had our 3 favorite elves you want to name. We had Olivia, Christian, and Andres that helped us, and my husband John, so we just want to thank them. And again, please stop by. There is a contest, and we're not sure if we nailed it or not. We're still waiting to hear from the county, hopefully soon. And finally, this is an important one. The Historic Preservation Commission has identified the bus station building as having historic significance to the village based on the 1950s mid-century modern design by architect J. Robert Gilchrist. Members would like to see the structure cleaned, restored, and appropriately identified in the village. The Ridgewood Guild and Women Gardeners are willing to assist with the cleanup and enhancements for the continued use as the bus station, noting the prominent location was actually selected in relation to the Village War Memorial. Members point out that the clean, restored, and maintained structure with some maybe security cameras would result in less negative social activity. John Gilchrist, who is an architect and also the son of the J. Robert Gilchrist, shared that in 1962, the Ridgewood structure received the New Jersey AIA, American Institute of Architects, Design Award. So it's actually even more significant, not just from a historical perspective, the specific type of architectural vernacular, and then the award. So I understand from one HPC member, she reached out for John Gilchrist, the son, and he has graciously offered to assist with the restoration project, as he too feels it's an important piece of Ridgewood history. So this is important because as soon as I heard this, I did email the village manager and the village engineer, because panic kind of hit that somebody could knock it down next week and put those plastic shells up. And now we've identified this, and it might be, it's, you know, we always feel strongly that it's our responsibility to preserve the history of the village, and this seems to have a specific design, the relationship to where it is across from the park is significant. So I spoke to the village manager. She said we'll have to bring this back to the village council, so hopefully we'll get it on our next agenda and we can rethink what we're doing there and make the effort to preserve. There have been a couple of people who have offered to also volunteer time, materials, whatever it takes to restore this. So that's it for me.
Councilman Seaton.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to start out by thanking Bob Paoli, commander of the American Legion Post 53, for getting us the Spirit of America, the wall display that was graciously hosted by Bethlehem Lutheran Church. So I'd like to thank Pastor Matt Peoples, who hosted the week-long event. There were discussions every evening around 7. There was guided tours. It was really good. I stopped in with my son, so we got to check it out. And I'd also like to thank all the volunteers who helped hand out information and give discussions and talk about various topics related to America's military history. So again, thank you to Bob Paoli and Matt Peoples and everybody who was involved in that. It was a really great display. And then on a final note, I would just like to say that the village is in the process of planting 140 trees, street trees throughout the village, as it is planting season right now. So they're rolling into the Lakeview composting facility and anywhere else that could temporarily house a bunch of trees before we plant them. So thank you to all the employees and everybody involved in that. And that does it for my report. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I have nothing to report, so this is very informative. Everybody else set?
Oh, can I just ask one more? I actually have one more question for the village manager. So the sycamore seedlings, do we know what the status of that replanting project is?
It was done, it was completed, that's what I thought.
So they're planted,
They are
everything is
planted.
done. Okay, so
Yes.
that's really exciting too, because we were able, I forget what they were called, pods? They were called something. They were actually
Seedlings?
called something. So we were able to take the Graydon sycamore tree
Right.
and the
Oh, the seed pods.
the seed pods. Do you want to say that? Do you want to talk about that? Because Jeannie,
Was she, I don't have all the details of it. I know that she was planting them along various, stream locations and things like that. So the Parks Department did help out with materials to keep deer away and everything else. So the sycamore tree at Graydon will live on in the future through
Eternity.
various locations. We could get those locations if anyone's interested.
and shout out to Jean Epipan, and thank you for all of her hard work on that, and to preserve Graydon also for keeping on top of it. So, great.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right, moving
so
on.
we have no ordinances for Ridgewood Water, resolutions. The following resolutions numbered 18-327 through 18-332 will be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the village council, and they will be read by title only. Award additional contract under National Joint Powers Alliance Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, various supplies and equipment. Award additional contract under state contract chlorine water analyzers and supplies. Award contract under emergency purchase 2017 Volvo dump truck. Award professional services contract special attorneys for PFAS contamination litigation. Establish interest rates for delinquent payments to the water utility for 2019 and set grace period for payment of water utility bills, and accept Ridgewood Water annual maintenance fee. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second,
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3687.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3687 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 145 fees of the village code for day camp fees.
I move that ordinance 3687 be adopted on first reading and that December 12th, 2018 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3688.
Second,
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3688 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 145 fees of the village code for Graydon Pool membership fees and tenants membership fees.
I move that ordinance 3688 be adopted on first reading and that December 12th, 2018 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second,
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3689.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3689 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 265 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood Vehicles and Traffic at Section 265-59, Schedule 9, stop intersections.
I move that ordinance 3689 be adopted on first reading and that December 12th, 2018 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3690.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3690 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 265 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood Vehicles and Traffic at Section 265-59, Schedule 9, stop intersections.
I move that ordinance 3690 be adopted on first reading and that December 12th, 2018 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3691.
Second,
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3691 by title?
Before I read the title, I just want to mention that this is being introduced again. This is an ordinance that was adopted, I believe, last month. The reason it has to be introduced again is it was not noticed to the surrounding municipalities, which is a requirement for land use ordinances. So this will be considered for final adoption again in December after it has been noticed to the surrounding municipalities. It's an ordinance of the Village of Ridgewood amending the provisions in Chapter 190, Land Use and Development, concerning the permitted uses in the B1 and B2 business districts.
I move that ordinance 3691 be adopted on first reading and that December 12th, 2018 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3692.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes, so ordered. Will the clerk please read ordinance 3692 by title?
An ordinance to create a new chapter of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood entitled Cosmetology to address health and safety related issues.
I move that ordinance 3692 be adopted on first reading and that December 12th, 2018 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Yes.
Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3693.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes, so ordered. Will the clerk please read ordinance 3693 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 145-4 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood entitled Departmental Fees to amend the fees charged by the Health Department.
I move that ordinance 3693 be adopted on first reading and that December 12th, 2018 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3677 by title on second reading, that the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes, will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3677?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 265 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood Vehicles and Traffic at Section 265-58, Schedule 8 through streets.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3677 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3678 by title on second reading, that the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes, will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3678?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 265 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood Vehicles and Traffic at Section 265-59, Schedule 9, stop intersections, and at Section 265-65, Schedule 15, parking prohibited at all times.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3678 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3679 by title on second reading, that the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes, will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3679?
An ordinance to fix salaries, wages, and other compensation and to establish the employee agreement of certain non-union officers and employees of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey for the year 2018.
Public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3679 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3680 by title on second reading, that the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3680?
An ordinance to fix salaries, wages, and other compensation of non-union employees of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, and the State of New Jersey for the year 2018.
The public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3680 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3681 by title and second reading, that the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3681?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 105 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Animals, at Section 105-18, Poultry and Fowl.
Public hearing is now open. I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3681 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3682 by title and second reading, that the public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 3682?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 260 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Trees and Shrubs.
The public hearing is now open.
Good evening, Boyd Loving, 342 South Irving Street. Am I understanding this ordinance correctly, that the major purpose of this ordinance is to delete the requirement that somebody needed a permit to remove a tree over a certain diameter on their own property?
Yes.
This ordinance, the ordinance that you were deleting, or the portions of the ordinance that you were deleting, have been in effect for how long?
Yeah, a little over a year.
My question is, how many permits did we issue in that one-year period of time?
None, because we didn't realize that we intended, if you recall, it was defeated, and what was defeated, there was something before that, and we didn't realize that it was on the books.
Yeah, I guess I would just express my concern that there was an ordinance on the books in the Village of Ridgewood that required a permit for a particular purpose, and nobody knew about it, and no permits were issued, and no fees were collected. It makes me kind of
However-
wonder.
I don't think
I
there
was
was
going to say,
a...
however, it wasn't the intent of the council to do that, so.
No, I know,
So-
but I just concerns me that there may be another ordinance in effect in which a permit or a fee is required, and we are not collecting, not issuing permits and not issuing fees as we are supposed to.
Wasn't the permit without a fee attached to it, though? My recollection, maybe I'm wrong, it's been a while.
I don't recall.
I thought there was no fee
I don't
attached.
think there was a fee.
There was no fee
There
attached
was
to
no
the
fee, it was
permit.
just a permit?
Because it was just a permit, and I think that we had specifically stated there would be no fee attached to it. We could double-check that, but I mean, I'm only going by memory, so it's been a while, so I'm pretty sure that's where we left off, that there was never a fee. So
So-
we're just removing the permit piece of it. It wasn't anything about revenue collection.
So when does this take effect? Is this immediately or 30 days, Mr. Roger? What is being passed tonight?
After passage tonight, if it passes, then it's a 20-day period.
So theoretically, somebody who cuts a tree down tomorrow over a certain diameter and width on their own property is required to have a permit. However, we're currently not enforcing it.
I guess. I mean, I guess that's
Correct.
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 I think it
Okay.
was,
I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you very much.
it was no
Anybody
fee,
else?
right? There was no fee attached to it, is that?
I don't believe so, we can double-check that,
Yeah, let's
though.
just double
I
check
can
that.
go
I remember
back to all
that
of you.
discussion going back and forth, because it mainly had to do with knowing that a tree was getting cut down, so it could be replanted somewhere else.
Right, got it.
All right, I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voight.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3682 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
Okay. The following resolutions, numbered 18-333 through 18-350, are to be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the Village Council. They will be read by title only. Authorize Village of Ridgewood to join the Interlocal Purchasing System TIPS Cooperative Pricing System. Award additional partial contract, road resurfacing and repairs, Hillcrest Road and North Pleasant Avenue. Award contract under Bergen County contract, rock salt. Award contract under TIPS Cooperative Purchasing System, cameras and HD broadcasting of Village Council meetings. Award professional services contract, engineering services for removal of odor control system at water pollution control facility. Award professional services contract, pediatrician for monthly child health conference. Award professional services contract, Valley Hospital, Department of Community Health, Public Health and Nursing Services. Award professional services contract, COA planner. Award contract, emergency repair and testing of underground fuel storage tank at Village Underground Storage Tank Facility. Approved shared services agreement, Child Health Conference, Fair Lawn and Glen Rock. Approved shared services agreement, TV inspection of sanitary sewer mains, Northwest Bergen County Utilities Authority. Establish interest rate for non-payment of taxes and assessments for 2019 and set grace period. Establish interest rates for non-payment of other municipal liens for 2019 and set due date. Establish interest rates for delinquent payments for significant sewer discharge bills for 2019. Authorize execution and filing of treatment works approval applications for American Dream Estates. Approve person-to-person liquor license transfer, Oak Street Liquors LLC to 54 East Ridgewood Landmark LLC, trading as Felina Restaurant. Reappoint Chief Municipal Finance Officer, and approve 2018 holiday parking plan in Central Business District. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. All right, we'll go back to public comment, not to exceed 5 minutes per person.
Good evening again, Boyd Loving, 342 South Irving Street. Earlier this week, I sent an email to the manager expressing my concerns about the use of Vets Field as a helicopter landing pad for the Valley Hospital. The basic purpose of that letter was to, in particular, express my concerns about the expenses associated with police, fire, and EMS personnel who attend to those helicopter landings. After I sent the email, the next day I woke up and I realized, you know, there's something that's even more basic than that, and that is a public park. It is a public park that the taxpayers of Ridgewood fund. On 2 occasions, I've observed helicopter landings at that location for hospital-to-hospital transfers of patients. That is, it is not a trauma victim that is being flown out of Ridgewood to go to a trauma facility. It's not a burn victim that has been burned in Ridgewood that is being flown out to go to St. Barnabas. It is somebody from the Valley Hospital being transferred to another hospital, or somebody from another hospital being transferred to Valley by helicopter. Myself, along with other taxpayers of Ridgewood, pay for that park. We paid for the land, we pay to maintain the park. It concerns me that the Valley Hospital is using that as a helicopter landing pad. And I got to thinking, what happens when they want to use it? They place a phone call and say, a helicopter is coming in and we're landing it at Vets Field? Does the manager give approval for that? Does the police chief give approval for that? Does the fire chief give approval for that? Or is it just a phone call comes to someone at Central Dispatch and says a helicopter is on its way, and Central Dispatch has to have the necessary people stand by? Are we billing Valley for this service? When it happens at Hackensack, they are landing on their own property that they own, not property that's owned by the Borough of Westwood or the City of Hackensack. They are landing in their own parking lot. So why is Valley landing in a public park that is owned by the citizens of Ridgewood? What right do they have to do that for hospital-to-hospital transfers of patients? So I'd appreciate it if the manager would look into this and provide an answer to the taxpayer of Ridgewood as to whether this practice is going to be allowed to continue or not. I am certain that when the valley moves to Paramus, they're going to build a helicopter landing pad. As long as they're in Ridgewood, they should find some place that is commercial property to land it and not land it at a public park. When I witnessed this happen in the summer, people who were using the field had to be cleared from the field so the helicopter could land. That is not right. People who were playing baseball, soccer, needed to clear the field so a helicopter could land for somebody's convenience, not an emergency. So again, I'd appreciate it if the manager would check into this, and as far as I'm concerned, this practice should stop. If the practice doesn't stop, the taxpayer should be compensated for the time that that property is out of service while the helicopter is sitting there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening again. Ann Loving, 342 South Irving Street. Regarding the holiday parking, I'm wondering if the Park Mobile units are going to announce to people on Saturdays that you don't have to put money in. Like, people aren't going to necessarily know this. And I know there was some discussion a while ago that after 8 p.m. or whatever, it should flash and say you don't have to put money in, Sundays you don't have to put money in, and they weren't doing that. So I'm hoping that the units will be programmed so that shoppers who come into town will not be putting money in, and they will get to take advantage. I think it's a great thing that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Just before we just close public comments, do we have any answer to the helicopter landing in terms of what is the arrangement with the Village of Ridgewood and Valley Hospital?
What I can tell you is that we do not charge them, and that the police department is notified. I don't believe it requires permission. I know I don't give permission, but I will verify that and I will respond.
Thank you. And then the other question about the parking kiosks, the ability to have I think it's a great idea, and maybe even have it extended to Park Mobile as well, to see if we can give somebody notice whenever there is not only just the free parking for the holidays, but also when we have holidays in general. Sometimes it's, especially the ones that are not sort of federal holidays and people are still trying around. Is there a way to do that?
We'll look into it.
So just in terms of the helicopter, could we also just kind of maybe get a better understanding as to what circumstances would result in that type of a request? Because as Mr. Loving is pointing out, that it's not a trauma that may have happened here. It could be somebody in dire need of an emergency transport, but at least we should at least have an understanding as to what circumstances would require or result in such a request.
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right. So with that, I'll take a resolution to go into closed session.
Be resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood that the Village Council meet in closed session on November 28th, 2018 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter on the agenda can be reached. And the said closed session be held in the caucus room of the Ridgewood Village Hall, 131 North Maple Avenue, Ridgewood, New Jersey. Be it further resolved that the matters to be discussed in closed session are limited to legal matters to include PBA negotiation and police department. These matters are allowable under NJSA 10:4-12 and be it further resolved that the minutes of this meeting shall be made available to the general public when such matters have been deemed completed by resolution of the Village Council. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, so who was it?
Take your pick. Everybody.
Okay, and second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you.